Guys, I'm really happy to welcome to the podcast a buddy of Debbie's and mine. This is Isaiah Washington, the writer, the director, the actor. He's been an actor and producer now for nearly 3 decades, television, film, the stage. He's a veteran of a bunch of Spike Lee films. He's probably best known for playing the role of Dr. Burke on the ABC drama Grey's Anatomy. His new film, Corsicana, and the website is corsicanamovie.net, corsicanamovie.net. Isaiah, it's a real pleasure as always, and I know that this film has been kind of a dream of yours to launch from the ground up. Talk a little bit about what makes this film different from perhaps the kind of routine fare that Hollywood puts out. Why are you excited about this film?
Why I'm excited about the film is that it actually, for me, and I don't shy away from this, it actually is a godsend. I did not go into Corsicana originally prepared to direct this movie, although for my entire career, I always knew that the producer, the anonymous one, was the one that was actually building a house, that actually followed the blueprint and built the house from the ground up, and actually would actually participate in net profit participations indefinitely. So my goal was always to be a producer, never to be a director. And here's why. I thought that I wasn't worthy. I had already worked with Spike Lee. He was my god at the time. You know, he gave me my career 4 times and set me up in Hollywood. We got the attention of Clint Eastwood, who was also considered to me, I'm a huge fan, was my god. Michael Apted, Steven Soderbergh, Warren Beatty. I got spoiled early on in my career watching these men called directors, and they're great DPs, but unbeknownst to me, I was sitting at the table of greatness and got a chance to be a student of directing. So apparently, with my love of foreign films, my love of films, I never wanted to watch a film before I got into film and television unless it had subtitles. So now, cut to the pandemic. It's at its all-time high in 2020. I get a call from Robert Davi. I think you know who that is.
Yeah, sure.
On my birthday. And I didn't return his call on my birthday, obviously, but the next day I still have the voicemail. August 4th, he called, and I called him back, and he talked for 20 minutes about the script he had called Corsicana, the director that he had at the time. And I listened for 20 minutes, and I was disturbed, Dinesh, that I didn't know who Bass Reeves was, and I didn't know who or where Corsicana was in the state of Texas after growing up in Texas. So for me, I take roles on as an actor if they scare me or I feel like I have to educate myself in the world. I've always considered myself an educator. I always wanted to be a part of movies that would spark conversations, much like Spike Lee, and that's what this movie does. When I got to Corsicana, I did something that I had never done in 30 years. I took half of my fee at the time as an actor and just jumped on the plane without reading the script. I'd never do that. I just got so excited about it after 22 days of doing a deep dive on Bass Reeves and Corsicana. I just became pregnant with that story and that information. Sat there for an additional 5 days and found out that the director, through creative differences, had departed. But the problem was it was 2 days before we were supposed to start shooting. I only had 48 hours. But literally, I was struck by the charm of the people at the Chili's and Applebee's in Corsicana. I was struck. They all knew me. They knew me as Dr. Burke. They knew me as Chancellor Jaha, 5 seasons on The 100. I was completely charmed by the people of Corsicana. So this movie is a gift. It's my love letter to Corsicana because I did not go there intending on directing, but I didn't want 40 people to lose their jobs. Okay, after being on the project for 4 months, other producers left. So I said I would direct it. And I was literally led by the spirit of Bass Reeves and God. I really believe that.
I mean, it seems that this is a story that is old school in the sense that it appeals to the basic human emotions of justice and fighting back against the bad guys. It has a plot, it has characters, it has a hero, and it seems like Hollywood has moved away from some of those almost classic elements of telling a good story.
That is absolutely correct. The great patriot and great human being, John Walsh, at Star Grill Cinema, This man hadn't even asked to watch the movie, Dinesh. He has 11 theaters he's in operating. 3 in Illinois, 8 in Texas. That's a great state of Texas. This man never, for 2 months, I was introduced to him by a young lady who works in the mayor's office in Houston, Hiawatha Henry, who reached out to me on Facebook. She looked at the trailer and she felt the same sentiment. Family, rule of law, outlaws, and one person that's going to find justice. That's exactly the themes. Also, I'm a big fan of bonsais, so I shoot the trees really, really beautifully there in Texas. The landscape of Texas is very unique. This is a true detective Western film. I'm merging both genres because, we usually see a traditional Western, they're what we call peopled up, which you have a lot of prostitutes in saloons, card games, a lot of people smoking cigars. You have the livery shop with a blacksmith. You have people walking down the dirt road, tumbleweed blowing, mountainous areas, usually very dark, like, dusty, like Wyoming, Montana during the summer, or New Mexico, Arizona. You don't get that. You see lush green territory. We tried to do color correction and make it fit into that brown, old, Western. Then, Amber McNutt and Josh Reed, my wonderful DP, we voted our DP out. And he was the only time I had to disagree with him. I said, you know what? This landscape here in Corsicana, and being in Corsicana, shot on location in Corsicana, Texas, is a character into itself, as well as the soundtrack. So we're going to leave it. And it worked.
Let's take a pause, Isaiah. When we come back, I want to pull back, talk a little bit about the beginning of your career, and then talk some more about this movie. We'll be right back.